Hi, this is Garry from Next Actions. Today's world is filled with lots of shiny new objects and new technologies. And if you're like me, you'll always be wanting to have that latest gadget. We're also surrounded by lots of old systems and processes. And many of these, well, they're likely to have been fine years ago when we initially put them in place, but now they're holding back your business. Join me now to chat about identifying your needs and those of your team so that you can move towards the results you deserve. The world is changing fast. There's new technologies, new ways of working, brand new competitors, and tools and techniques coming along on what seems like a daily basis. It can often seem that every time that you turn around, something new comes along. It's important to make sure you are keeping up with these changing trends. But just because something is new doesn't mean you have to adopt it. It also means that you can't afford to ignore it either. It's important that you regularly review what the needs of your business are. When you look at your team, it's easy to see what their needs are. You see one team member who is struggling with certain parts of their job, and from that you know that they need additional training and support. Someone else may be struggling with some old or even broken equipment. Well, they need to have that equipment either replaced or repaired. Team members who are bored, well, they need to have some more challenging work. And similarly, team members who are stressed and overloaded, they also need help. They may need someone to take some of that workload off them, or they may help with understanding how to effectively delegate. But what about yourself? How do you know what you need? Quite often, the signs that you need something include procrastination. You're constantly putting things off because you'll know you'll be battling with how to do things, and you just don't want to do that at the moment. Existing processes, well, they're now working against you, not with you. You need to do things that no longer make sense, but you do it because, well, that's how it's always been done. And to be honest, that's one of the phrases that I often hear, and it should be the trigger used to drive through a change. Just because it's always been done a certain way does not mean it should still be done that way. You may be avoiding making decisions. You don't want to decide to do something because you know of all the pain that you're going to get to see it through. It's better to leave it alone and hope it fixes itself. Maybe you're having sleepless nights, which means you're frustrated, you're grumpy, you're easily irritated. You know what you're doing is wasting your time and energy, but you just don't know what to do to fix it. So you're laying there and you're worrying about it all night. You may be coming up with ideas for better ways to do things, but you're then not following through and implementing that new way. A lot of your tasks may seem like repetitive work. You're doing the same things in the same way as if you were a robot rather than a thinking person. These sort of tasks are where automation can come in. Or maybe you could delegate these tasks to someone else, or put in place a new piece of software on your computer which may do it all automatically for you. It's important for you to step back so you can separate what you need from what you want. Me personally, I always want the latest and greatest iPhone. And Apple, well, they regularly deliver those every single year come September and October. New iPhones coming out. And they're not cheap. But do I need a new iPhone every year? Well, no, I don't. The latest phone, it may have more power, nicer screens, and them sexy new features that I'd love to play with. But do I need those features? And most of the time, I don't. So as much as I'd love to have a new phone every single year, well, there's no business need for it. When determining what you need to look at a number of different factors. These include: what do you need to use it for? Ask yourself, is it going to make things easier for you or your team? Why are you doing it? Is it the sexy new toy, or are you doing it to address an issue that you have identified and that you need to address? Are you the best person to actually be doing this? It's easy to fall back to being the person doing everything. Sometimes it's worth spending a little bit of time to look at what you're doing and look at what you can delegate to other team members. Effective delegation is a core skill that every business owner should have. Is there a simpler way to do something? Usually, the simpler something is, then the more effective the results are. An example here. You decide that you need a new computer. You look around and you see a flashy $2,000 gaming PC that you really want. It does everything. But then you step back and you write down what it is you're going to be using it for. And you find, well, all you're going to be doing is writing some letters, producing quotes, producing invoices, and running your budget. You're mainly going to be using Word, Excel, and your web-based bookkeeping package. When you look at it, you find that you don't need the massive power of that gaming PC. What you need is a $500 PC with a nice screen. It's an instant saving of $1,500. You get the machine that does exactly what you want, and you don't need to overspend for things that you will never use. Another example. Every evening you're spending 3 hours issuing invoices, issuing quotes, and then chasing up for outstanding ones so you've got more work coming in and you've got more money coming into your bank account. You don't want to do this because that 3 hours, you'd rather be spending that with your family. But this work, it needs to be done. You look at your finances and you can see that you have a reasonable amount of profit each month. And that means you can afford to pay someone. So take a step back, sit down, spend a bit of time writing down exactly what you need someone else to do. In this example, these are to create and send invoices, create and send quotes, follow up quotes and book appointments, chase up outstanding invoices, update your bookkeeping software, create orders to suppliers, and to pay your bills. These are all things that need to be done for your business to allow it to run smoothly. But you decide you can now afford someone else to do it for you. You have identified your need, created a solution, and then you go ahead and you implement it. The end result, you're going to get those evenings to spend with your family. By spending time looking at what your needs are and those of your team, you're able to focus on the work that needs to be done. You can identify areas that need to be changed. You can see new opportunities when they come up and focus on delivering the results. If you would like some help with identifying the needs of yourself and your team, then please get in touch with me. Let's see how we can work together so you can get the results you deserve. Please reach out to me on 0415 591 672. I'm based in Australia, so please use the correct international dialing code if calling from another country. You can also email me on garry@nextactions.com.au or visit nextactions.com.au, where you will find a link to book a free short introductory call. Do you have any topics you'd like me to cover? If you do, please drop a comment down below and I'll add this to the list of upcoming videos. I'll talk to you again soon.